is the service firm question, FitPro Fitness Center. It's the 2017 question. Just looking at two notes here. The two notes we're looking at are to do with the bank figure not taking into account two additional charges, and laundry figure being included in wages. So the very first thing there we'll look at is the closing bank figure does not take into account bank charges of 110 and a dishonored check of 950. So our bank figure, closing bank figure, is the 3,300 here. We see it in the payment section. It's in the payment section. So what does that mean? Well, it means that my receipt section has to be greater than my payments because this is balancing it. So if my receipts is greater than my payments, I've made money. So this is a positive bank balance. And this positive bank balance of 3,300 does not take into account an additional bank charge of 110 and a dishonored check. So that bank charge, straight away I can just plug that in as an expense. Bank charge that wasn't included in my accounts. A bank charge is a form of expenditure. It's not in my account, so I just put it straight in P&L expenditure. So to look at the bank, just before we look at the dishonored check, this is what my bank looks like so far. My balance again is 3,300. It's positive balance because this is just basically a balance between both sides in order to get these the same. My receipt side is greater, so I put a balance figure here. Therefore, if my receipt side is greater, it means that I have more money in my account than I have spent. So the 3,300 is positive. And the bank charge is obviously negative. You pay a bank charge, so I take away the 110. So we're not done with the bank. The other thing we have here is to do with a dishonored check received from a member. So the dishonored check, just to clear this up, I've previously done, in doing this question, you'd have previously done your membership fees figure for your P&L. You'd take what you received, you look at what was prepaid or due at the start of the year and what was prepaid or due at the end of the year, and you'd have got a certain figure and that would have gone into income. We don't need to touch that figure with this 950. It's already dealt with. There is no issues. The only thing the 950 comes into it is whether I have paid it off or I haven't. And we had previously looked at this 950 as having been paid off. So what happened is I paid that off, and then I looked at the membership fees that were left to pay, and it came to this amount. That's the amount that I was left to receive. People still hadn't paid me 2,700. But now I found out that an additional 950 also hasn't been paid by somebody. So therefore I am owed an additional 950 on top of what was already due to me. So I have to do a membership fees adjustment, but only for membership fees due. So my membership fees due at the 1st of the 1st was 2,700, and I have an additional 950 because that check is now still due. 3,650 is going into my current assets as this is due to me at the end of the year. How do I deal with this in my bank account? Well, the 950 was included in my bank account. It's a check. It's been cancelled. Therefore, I did not receive the 950. So I reduced my bank account by an additional €950. My bank balance that's going towards my balance sheet, it's a current asset because it's money in the bank. It's not an overdraft. But it amounts to 2,240. The second note we're going to deal with is the laundry note. Payment for laundry includes 2,700 for 3 weeks' wages. My laundry figure 11,600. It includes 3 weeks' wages at €2,700. So I take out that €2,700, and what I'm left with is 8,900 expenditure. Laundry includes wages. Get rid of the wages. There's a second part to it though. Provide for a further 2 weeks' wages. So this 3 weeks' wages and this other 2 weeks' wages need to go towards my wages account. So wages, we previously would have done this out, having taken from the question, wages of 83,000, and wages include 24,000 paid to a secretary who's part of the shop. 60% of this is to go for the shop. So the 60% amounts to 14,400. I take that away from the amount that I have paid, and And that would be my normal finish to my wages account, only I have an additional bit of information. The 3 weeks for the laundry, 3 weeks that was included in laundry, should have been included in wages. So I'm going to add those 3 weeks on. The 3 weeks amounts to 2,700. Therefore, 1 week is 900. 2 weeks is 1,800. 1,800 as well I have to add to wages, because these are wages figures. These are amounts that I'm paying to fitness instructors, the amount I'm paying to a fitness instructor, and I am running a fitness center. These are therefore wages and salaries. So my total wages and salaries that goes towards my P&L is going to be 73,100. There's one more piece of information to look at. We need to provide for a further 2 weeks' wages due. This has not been paid, unlike the rest of my wages, because there is no wages due at the end of the year. There's no wages prepaid at the end of the year. This has been previously payment for laundry. This has been previously dealt with, but the additional 2 weeks has not been accounted for. So I basically, it's like if it showed it down here, wages due at the end of the year 1,800. I need to put this into my balance sheet. So I need to make a note for myself. So when I'm doing the balance sheet, I'll know that I've wages due at the end of the year of 1,800. They're due for me to pay, therefore they're a current liability.